Hey, are you a business owner, entrepreneur, or professional? If so, we want you to apply to be a featured guest on our show. My name is Adam Torres, and I host the Mission Matters series of podcasts. I've recorded over 3,000 episodes, and we are just getting started. How do you know if you'd be a good guest to be on the show? Well, only one way to find out, and that's to apply, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We want guests that have a story to tell, guests with a brand, a product, or a service that can benefit my audience of listeners. If this sounds like you, go to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. I'd love to talk to you and get to know more about your story. Again, head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with our book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Rick Elmendorf on the line, and he's a branch leader over at Movement Mortgage, and he's also CEO at loanwithrick.com. Rick, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
All right, Rick. So great topics today. So we will talk about some practical advice for active and retired military personnel, really to achieve their short-term and long-term financial goals. So great topic there. And just to get us started, Rick, so we at Mission Matters amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. So that's our mission here. Rick, what mission matters to you?
Yeah, I've been in the mortgage business for, I'm going on 27 years. I can't believe I'm dating myself back that far. But, years ago, my father served in the Air Force. I was born overseas. Pretty early in my career, the military community became very important to me for a lot of different reasons. And I will say that 9/11 kind of set it off of a lot of just a real gap and a void in the financial industry. I know there's a lot of companies that do that well, but our main focus and our what really matters to us is really serving our veteran families and active duty families as well. And so we've put together quite a bit of programs and incentives, initiatives and stuff. And it's not just about money. It's really around coming alongside the men and women that have served our country and serve our country actively. And getting them some really good mortgage advice, no cost to it, just really going to be in there, holding a hand, working with military spouses while guys are deployed or whatnot. It's just really making sure the mortgage fits within the short and long-term financial objectives of our clients. And there's a lot more there, but, the military families is really what it's all about for us. And that's what we strive to be professionals at, to know well, better than anybody else, and just to make it our focus.
That's awesome, Rick. That's awesome. We'll love bringing mission-based businesses and entrepreneurs on the show. So thank you for sharing that. And maybe just to get us started, tell us a little bit more about what you're doing over at Movement Mortgage and also loanwithrick.com. Yeah,
sure. So loanwithrick.com has been I guess around for about a year now. We've recently formed a partnership with Movement Mortgage, which I'm now branch leader of, and working mainly within a program of theirs called Movement Military. So Movement just is a great company. I mean, they are, if you look at their website, movement.com, they are way more than just doing mortgages. It's a company that has a true purpose beyond just getting profits. In fact, they give away their profits, and part of what we're all about at loanwithrick.com and Movement Military is really about supporting obviously financially with the mortgage, but just being involved with a great organization that focuses is around our military families.
So can you tell me a little bit about the maybe some of the unique challenges of the military families that you're serving? Because I love when I speak with somebody that really has a really defined niche, because the more that you're working with your specific niche, I mean, just the better you're able to serve your clientele, in my opinion. Like, you can't do everything. I mean, obviously you can do mortgages for people out other than military families, but the fact that you focus so heavily on it, like, tell us a little bit about some of the unique challenges there.
Oh man, there's so many, especially in today's market. I mean, number one off the top is just getting bad intel from people, and I'll just say my industry, not as a whole, but there's just a lot of bad information out there regarding VA loans. People that don't specialize in it, and it's not to say somebody's trying to misdirect or mislead anybody. It's just that there's just not a whole lot of experience sometimes in the VA space. And so that's kind of a challenge. I mean, just telling people, you can't use your VA loan more than one time, or knowing when you can and can't use it. But specifically right now in today's market, being a highly seller market, people trying to, relocate their PCSing across country, and they're trying to buy a house with a VA loan, that is a substantial difficulty right now, getting your offer accepted with a VA loan in such a seller's market. Because typically the VA loan is with no money down yet. That doesn't have that option. But that's where we're seeing some of the challenges. But I will tell you that we've been fighting so hard on the education front and on getting the real estate agents across the country, and especially in my local niche markets, really understanding a VA loan and how it's actually a better loan for the seller than a conventional loan. In fact, there's an interesting statistic, and I did research on this, that over 10.4% of conventional loans die after ratification. I mean, they literally don't qualify, and they just go by the wayside. VA is half that. And you multiply that with COVID and the pandemic of people not being able to qualify for loans. I mean, sellers they're getting top dollar for their houses, but they're being really, really picky. And there is a strategy that exists in getting your offer with a VA loan accepted, and that's really what we've been striving to do. But that right there is the number one roadblock right now and challenge for people that are trying to use their VA loans to buy a house.
Man, that's great, and that I feel like that's the difference between working with somebody that this is what you're doing day in and day out versus somebody else. And again, not downing anybody, but somebody that maybe they may be their first VA loan, right? You never know. Depending, I don't mean as a company, but if it's somebody, a broker or something, they don't work that close, and they're not going to know some of these things, and that can make your experience, let's just say, less than optimal. What is your military upbringing? Like, tell us a little bit more about your background and kind of how you got on this path.
Yeah, sure. So my dad was a fighter pilot in the United States Air Force. He got into the Air Force in the early 50s, and so he was flying all the fun jets. I mean, the guy was he was, let's just say he was crazy, but he did some really neat stuff. But his last post was over in Bangkok, Thailand, where he was flying Goonie birds up in northern Laos. It's all like unclassified now, but he was he was a spook pilot, so it was really kind of neat. I didn't even know this until after he passed away, but I was born in Bangkok, Thailand. He retired from the military because he was going to get a desk in the Pentagon. Said, "No way, Jose," and started working for a financial planning organization for the U.S. military. He became very good at what he did. Built an entire, basically the Northern Virginia area for this company, which is still alive and well today, serving military families. And that's how I got introduced to military families. As I got into the mortgage business, I was introduced to some of his clientele and just fell in love with it and learned from the kind of the grassroots up of how to take care and understand the military family and their needs.
Man, that's awesome. So that's a great story and great lineage. And I mean, talking about having a mission and really understanding that you want to help these families and continue the legacy really of what your father was also doing. So that's amazing. So let's talk about, some things that, those active and or retired military personnel should think about when they're thinking about their long-term and short-term goals. Like, what are some basic things that they should be considering?
Well, I mean, right now you got to think about it. As far as refinancing, that's just kind of a no-brainer right now. If you currently are sitting, let's say this: your VA benefits are there for a purpose, and if you have, it's not like a normal. If you're trying to refinance, the VA refinance is not like a normal refinance. You don't have to give 15 blood samples and your next born. It's super, super easy. No appraisal, no credit check. I mean, just completely simple piece of cake, done in 2 weeks sort of thing, lower your rate. And the lender only has to meet a few different specific criteria for you to qualify for that. A lot of people, other things that, fitting within your short and long-term objectives that, especially coming up on, we're nearing the end of the year now, people tend to, maybe they've gone into debt or, you can use with the equity that is appreciated in your home right now. Oh my goodness. I mean, you just look around what your home is appreciated right now over the last year. National statistics over 20%. So now you just have an extra 20% equity position that you can do a lot with your VA loan. You can cash out on your VA loan and the VA doesn't even touch your interest rate. So there's a lot of kind of secret benefits within the VA loan. Got to be careful with the cash out just because if you don't have disability rating, there's an add-on to that. So there's some caveats to it, but the VA is a super a beneficial program to kind of really help those types of needs, from debt consolidation, home improvements. The VA loan even does a home improvement loan. You can actually take money out when you're buying a house to improve the home up to $25,000, even $35,000. So a lot of things like that you can use your benefits for. They're there for a reason, and please use them. There's never a scenario where a conventional other financing is really better than a VA loan. So, just we want to talk to people or just ask questions, and that's just a good way to start. Start getting information and educating yourself on what you can and can't do with your VA benefits.
Man, that's awesome. Great advice and great tips there. And Rick, I just have to say, so it has been a pleasure having you on the show today and learning more about your background and why you do what you do and your mission. So that being said, Rick, if somebody's listening to this right now and they want to learn more about Movement Mortgage or loanwithrick.com, I mean, what's the best way for people to follow up and to connect?
Yeah, so best way is the website. And I know we just kind of scratched the surface, but, we're really here to serve. People can come to our website at loanwithrick.com and check us out there. I also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Rick Elmendorf. Elmendorf like the Air Force Base.
Fantastic. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. I hope you got a lot of value out of this. I hope you learned a lot. If you did, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. We definitely want you to be a return listener and visitor. Have many more mission-based entrepreneurs coming up for you next. And Rick, thanks again for coming on the show. It has been a pleasure, and definitely enjoyed our time today together.
Thanks, Adam. I appreciate it.